we pay more. The Dominican citizens are paying that boat to sit out there and wait. Every time that cement boat comes in, we pay all those customs and port officers to sit there and look at the cement go by. We're paying for it, but we want the airport.
Let's take a phone call. Are you there, caller? Yes?
Yes, Matt, good afternoon.
You, yes?
Hello? Yes, that is second time, Matt. I have in a dream for United Workers Party to make a female person become the leader. And the first person was Miss Singular. Now the second person is Annette Sanford. I tried to reach her, I didn't get her, but the only way we can win an election is if a woman, female prime minister for Dominica. So that person has to be Annette Sanford.
Oh, the strength of a woman. Thank you very much. 2:44 is the afternoon time. So, Andy, our economy is definitely suffering as a result.
I think our economy is suffering because our commerce is suffering. Our goods. I mean, Matt, you go in the store these days and you're looking for something, and you know what they tell you? Oh, we're not gonna get it right now. Oh, it was supposed to come last week, but it's not coming it's coming next week. Everything is being delayed. And here's what that's doing. It's putting businesses to rest. Slowly and slowly, the business community is going down and down and down. If we can't get goods to sell, we can't raise revenues. If we can't get goods to sell, we can't pay people higher salaries. If we can't get goods to sell, we cannot keep up our obligation to the public, to serve the public. But you see, again, Matt, I mentioned this last time I was in, and some people criticized me for this. Our officials, and we can go back to Mr. Scarrett, we can go back to all the elected officials, none of them use the services in Dominica. None of them walk the roads in Dominica. None of them subscribe to all the things that their regular citizens subscribe to. So they don't know what affects us. Effectively, Matt, the community, the government community that we have elected no longer listens to the people of Dominica. They have their own agenda and their own setup going.
Well, Dominica, this is one of the starting points here because we discussed it this morning. I said, interestingly, when we spoke to Mr. Jolly earlier this week, that is something that he brought up. And of course, I had the experience there because some personal and family business. That one of the boats carrying all this cargo from New York, I think it's Tropical, one of the shipping agents. That ship was sitting out there waiting for that cement ship to be offloaded. And then later they tried to offload this very ship out there sitting, and they said the water was too choppy. They tried at 2. They tried at 6, and they tried at 12 o'clock last night. And the ship had to go back, all the way back to Florida and making another round. So the items will be offloaded in the next round. What frustration. What are the logistics in place? And businesses, as Andy indicated there in the clip earlier, our businesses are suffering and people are remaining silent. They're suffering in silence and saying nothing. And then they call Matt, you know? I remember one friend of mine, the late Buple, said what? Before you kneel down and pray, you call it Matt.
You call Matt.
No, folks, I mean, get it together. You are one of those suffering. And you remain in silence. We have to fix the problem. This is frustrating to many, many persons. You know, some people came from the diaspora for the independence season, and we welcome them. But you know the economy, so they send barrels ahead,
yes,
expecting to pick up
with their families. Yes.
And now this same barrels
are still there.
They're going back.
And
the barrels are not there.
Well, the people went back and the barrels went back with them.
And let it make sense for me. Allow it to make sense. What's going on?
Well, I'm gonna blame it on Christianity, Matt. That's what I'm gonna blame it on. I know a lot of people wouldn't believe that, but remember, Christ Himself suffered in silence. So I think a lot of people have it in them that they're just gonna suffer in silence. And for those of us who speak up, we call Matt. Yes, that's the technique. But it definitely is a problem. And I can tell you, I do have a shipping company in my portfolio,
Yes.
and that I own, and it is very traumatic. And where it really the rubber hits the road, Matt, is when people start crying on the phones when you call them and they were expecting a package, they had plans for the package, and that package didn't show up on time. And I think, I'm going to tell you a true story near and dear to me. My mom ordered some hair some time back, and she ordered the hair, and, she wanted the hair for her birthday. Her birthday is coming up. I had to ship the hair via air
All right.
to get here on time, because I told her if she sent it the regular way, it wouldn't get here. And I was kind of right on this one. People are complaining their products. People are getting products, and the products are expired when they get here because it's taken too long in transition. And their products are not getting here, so they're not able to please their customers. We have people who are working on big projects, and they're ordering, just let's put it this way, screwdrivers, tools, maybe parts, and the parts are floating on the ocean and just enjoying the cruise. It's almost like a free, well, not even a free ride. It's like a cruise ship. I think the top tropical and King Ocean are like cruise ship boats now, because that's what our supplies are doing. They're having a ride around the Caribbean. They're not coming back to Dominica until next week sometime. And what you find, by the time that they get them, those people have been delayed several and several weeks, and that is bad for commerce. And when people start crying to you on the phone that they didn't get their products, or they were expecting this on a certain date and they planned ahead of time, it's bad. It's really bad for us. It's going to hurt us eventually. And a lot of people might say, well, turning back the boat won't hurt us. Matt, eventually, when the guys in Miami sit down and they do an ROI on those boats and seeing what it costs to ship to Dominica,
it becomes more expensive.
Two things are going to happen. One, they're going to raise our shipping rates. Or number two, they're just going to stop coming here because we're undependable. It's kind of like having a date with a girl, and you get there and you're all excited and she doesn't show up. Eventually you just don't call her back. I know. That's just how it works. So
let's see if we can get a few phone calls, because a lot of people are very concerned about this. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon,
Mr. Jolly.
Yes.
Matt, it's surprising that you would say before they do everything they call Matt. They call Matt. It's just this morning I was thinking about a song that you used to play every once in a while. A guy named Super Mali said they call him Matt. I don't remember the name of the song, but
they call him Matt. But I'm talking about some guy before Super Mali. His name was Buplay. And there was a business competition, Calypso competition. He came up with that line. Before they kneel down and pray, they call him Matt. So that's long before Super Mali. Yes, go ahead.
But Matt, I want to say something on the condition of the country, where it has been, where it's going, and where it's not going to go. All because of bad governance, bad management. Here's my take on this, and I'm going to let Mr. Jolly have his afternoon show. I'm listening. What I want to say, and I've said it before with no fear, no favor. I don't think there's one person that don't want a national, international airport. I think everybody would like to see Dominica prosper and do the right thing to get out of this moral. But for me, in my personal opinion, I kept saying this particular government in office there, them thugs in the office, should have never been the one to build an airport. Not because evidence shown that everything they touch, they mess up. They build the houses falling apart, and the people themselves are 10 years in the house. They're building an airport that is going to cost the country 3 times more. All the projects they're building has cost the country twice or more. Is I don't know what is kickback is under the table, like you brought up the last time with Mr. Jolly. But all these things are the things that I'm saying that these guys have the country in their last. You know, everything is after they do what they want, after they put their hands in the cookie jar and take everything, then they come and they try to make people think they're doing something with words on a podium. Now I want to drop one thing and I'm going. You see, all this is the agenda, what's taking place right now for the 2050. Like the man said, he's going to be in the 2050. That's to fool people. That's to do all kind of nonsense. And the people who sit by waiting for it are the ones who are most affected. So you see, Mr. Jolly is a businessman. Many of us who call from foreign, we're doing okay. Not all of us, but some of us are doing better than some. But the problem is in Dominica, the people who are affected the most are the ones who more want to support that kind of nonsense, because that's why I say the country is going nowhere, because a lot of money is wasted where the country could have been better and built better and operate much effectively under a different person's hands, a different government, a different administrator, because one man wants to do everything. He's the engineer, he's a police, he's a lawyer, he's a doctor, he's a chief, he's the man who cleans the lodge, he's everything except what he's supposed to do, lead. My brothers, thank you very much. I'm on.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. 133. Somebody's saying here, Matt, what are we talking about offloading of cement? Matt, talk to the local truckers about those white cement bags and whether or not the bags contain only cement. I saw this for myself. The Chinese are offloading tires in the same bags. Somebody's making that accusation. Local truckers pay hundreds of dollars in duty on one truck tire and have to what? Compete with the Chinese trucks. This is not second-hand information. So yes, you got the point. A lot of the truckers here, and they tax overhead. And you're making that point.
I made the point of the taxes, Matt. But you know,
and the trucks came in duty free.
Chinese trucks. I again, like I said, we didn't see what was signed. We don't know who's making the procedure. We didn't know. We were not preview as the people to any of the plans, the arrangements of any of this. This just showed up on our lap, and it's almost like they're making food and they put it in front of you and say, "Shut up, close your eyes, and eat it." I mean, this is it. That's what we got to do, you know. And Matt, I've gotten over the cement truck. Remember, last time I was here, we talked about the Chinese cement trucks driven by Chinese drivers. I'm over that a little bit, but you know what? I have a problem with?
I've been told some of the Chinese trucks are being driven by Indonesians.
Yeah, maybe. You know, I don't care. You know what I really want the trucks to do, Matt? You know, probably bring a couple bags of cement down to Roseau. Maybe they drop one off the wall house and let's fill some of them holes we have in the road. I don't care. I don't care where they bring the rest of the cement.
Or use one truck as you suggested originally,
just to
pick up the rubbish.
Pick up the rubbish, or use one truck to deliver a bag of cement. Start in Soufriere, Scott's Head. You drop one in Point Michel, drop one bag in Newton, and let us fill the holes in the road. At least give us a couple bags of cement for ourselves. I mean, we're building this huge airport, doing this big thing, and we got bigger holes in the road. You know that? I mean, that's going to cause some back pain to somebody at some point.
Well, Andy, we're talking about the problems. Let's look at the solution. How do we fix a problem like that that's affecting everybody?
Well,
it's clear.
Well, it's affecting everybody. And you know what, Matt? Nobody is looking at it and saying, hey, we need a solution for this.
Let's fix it.
We got to get things moving again at that Deepwater Harbor. We gotta either schedule the cement trucks at a different time that does not mess with business hours. We have to put them on off-peak times. We gotta reschedule it, or we have to find somewhere new where we can get it off. I mean, it's really inconveniencing a lot of people. I don't know if you've noticed, Matt, whenever those big trucks are down by the Deepwater Harbor, nobody can pass. I mean, there's mass pandemonium down there. I mean, the trucks, I mean, I've seen people trying to cross the road, man, and it's almost like a near-death experience for everybody. There's no police officers giving direction. There's nobody directing traffic down there. I mean, like, it's a free-for-all. Didn't somebody know that we were going to have 100 cement trucks coming in and pick up cement? There should be somebody directing this stuff, but it's almost like,
And the custom officers are sit and watch.
well, they have to. What are they doing? I mean, between the you and me, if the port is only offloading cement, I mean, this. What are you telling me here? What else do they have to do? They can't check off people's barrels. They can't give people their supplies that they came for. They can't. I mean, the invoices are probably, look, the boat just got turned back, so nobody's unstuffing the containers. What? We have new invoices? No, we don't have any new invoices because we didn't even get goods this time around. So everybody has to hold on to this stuff, and the customs officers can't check off the invoices before the goods reach. So, I mean, what do you? I mean, what do we expect here? I mean, so we've effectively put all those people to sit down while these things are moving ahead. But what we don't understand, Matt, is we're losing money. We are fine. We're moving ahead of the airport full steam, but we're burning everybody else. We're burning the businesses. We're burning our money on the taxpayers' money on the customs officers and the port that's being used. We're burning money on just about every single thing, right? So who is checking how much money are we losing? Forget about how much money we're making. How much are we losing in this entire process? The cement trucks have been here for what, over a couple months now?
A few months.
A few months. In the last couple of months, have we seen the decline? I mean, how long is this going to go on? Is this going to be a regular thing? Because this is an airport that we're building. An airport usually takes the minimum an airport is 7 years.
Let's be straight, Andy. I mean, you're not against the airport.
I'm not against it. I want it. I said I wish I could just give it to somebody so that we wouldn't have to go through all this pain and suffering.
We could concentrate on other things.
We could concentrate, but Matt, what we're doing, we're concentrating on one thing, and we're letting everything else go, and that is not a good way to do anything.
No comments. Hello, yes, good.
Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes,
Matt, I want to agree with a couple of things that Mr. Jolly said, especially with the first clip that he played of him before he came in person, where he was talking about the international airport, that we don't really need at this time. This is really not a priority. But I don't know if you recall some time ago, Isaac Baptist was making the point with respect to the need of an international airport, that based on the increasing technology in aircraft and so on right now, the airstrips are becoming shorter for the aircraft in terms of the ability of the aircraft to take off on shorter airstrips. And even we have a situation right now in Dominica where we have reasonable sized aircraft landing at the Melvin Hall Airport. And to make an international airport a priority now, given our economic situation, and as Anderson pointed out, we need roads, we have deficiencies in education, in health, in agriculture. We need more incentives in these areas to raise the standard of living. And I really do not see why at this point, that we have to go into so much additional costing. And given the fact that there was a piece of land already purchased without any problem with paying landowners and so on for the development of an airport, but they chose not to use that, but to set up a whole new system where they have to bring in money. And I believe personally, Matt, that international airport side there, one of the main purpose of it is to be a big laundromat, to wash money. Because you see, even if the Chinese, we really need to question our relationship with the Chinese, what it is that we are getting out from that. Because Mr. Jolly mentioned the whole question of the businesses losing money every day. And then you just mentioned something there, Matt, that even compounds the situation whereby they're smuggling other goods into the country. So we're not benefiting anything from them by way of port duties. We're not benefiting anything from them by way of we exporting our feed to them or our planting or anything. Nothing of the sort, Matt. They're only taking money from us. It's our passport money that is building the international airport. Then on top of that, Matt, we still have to be taking additional loans for them to do housing program when we already supposed to have a housing program as part of the passport program. So, all of these things really and truly, you ask the question, Matt, solutions. And, I am listening to my partner and listen to see how much solutions that we can come up with to deal with that problem. Because really, Matt, it is really taking advantage of the people. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. Somebody's saying that, just such a suggestion there as we're looking for solutions, that, these boats could have been offloaded there in the Woodford area, and it's very close to the site.
Somewhere else. Matt, we have to do better logistics than this, because what if we have to compete with the rest of the developing world and we want to become better, we need to kind of start using our marbles up there and think about it. But not only that, Matt, here's the thing, and Dominicans have to be proud of this. We're, like, I'll probably say, one of the only nations in the Caribbean that will not only have one international airport being built, but two, because remember, we're increasing the airstrip down at Melville Hall as well. So not only we're doing one project, we decided to do two projects. That's how aggressive we are. We're very aggressive. We didn't just say, hey, let's put a brand new airstrip. No, let's make the other one longer as well, too. So now we'll have a longer airstrip and a shorter airstrip.
Only seem like it's a conflict right there.
I don't understand it, and I don't know the rationale behind it, Matt. But here's the thing. Somebody has to give us an explanation for it.
But I've been told to sort of accommodate the bigger planes into Dominica for the meantime.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a United Airlines flying from New Jersey. Things like that.
Matt.
In the meantime,
Matt. I'm going to selectively disagree with you right now.
I'm saying that's what I got from the officials.
But maybe the officials told you that, and I know that news journalists tend to believe officials. But here's what I'm going to ask you right now: what is the big rush to come to Dominica? Who are we expecting here? We are in Dominica building hotels. We're in Dominica building big airports. We're in Dominica doing all this big infrastructure and spending billions of dollars on this infrastructure. Who is coming to visit us? Is your family moving back from New Jersey to come to Dominica? Are we expecting a reunion festival where all the Dominicans from abroad and wide, or the visitors are going to automatically fly in? We get more cruise ship visitors during the cruise ship season than airplane visitors. So why are we spending this big money on all these big hotels when we have hotels already in Dominica that are not full?
Most of the time, they're not full.
They're not full, or they're not at full capacity. Yet we have an airport in, Marigot right now, right? That is not fully being used, because I can tell you, remember, only one plane really lands there from American, and then there's a few other little puddle jumpers that jump in there every now and then. And most of the time, the airport is dead. Now we have even night landing in Dominica that's not being fully used as well. But we are still now here creating more capacity. Who are we creating this for? So I understand the idea that that's what it's going to be used for. But who is so attracted to Dominica right now? They're saying, yes, this is where we need to come. It almost sounds like we're building an airport so we can get bigger planes to bring in more voters when we have elections. Is that what we're doing?
Let's take a break. Hello, talk to me, yes? Are you there, caller?
Yes, good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
And good afternoon to Mr. Jolly.
Good afternoon.
I have a question. Is Mr. Jolly the only businessman that is affected by what's happening on the port and in Dominica generally?
No, he's the only outspoken one.
Why aren't the others speaking up? Are they waiting for scholarship for the children? The answer is no, because they can afford to send their children to school. Are they afraid that their wives are being victimized? The answer is no, because most of them, their wives are not working for government. So why are they speaking up? Now, Mr. Jolly asked a question. Why are we building all those hotels and so on where the existing ones are almost filled? Mr. Joldidian says not because we're expecting a reunion or anything. It's because the money in the economy or circulating in the economy is dirty, the money that's coming in, so they have to wash it. That is the reason why we're building all those hotels. They are laundries to wash the money. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, Matt. Here's the irony: a ship got to Dominica with a supply of safety goods for the same airport project. That ship had to return with all the supplies because the cement boat is lord and king of the port in Roseau. You understand what I mean?
All hail the king.
All right.
The king is coming,
So-
everybody.
Safety goods, and
I know.
that ship had to turn back.
Man, some impossible stuff happens. And I hate to tell you this, but I know there's somebody in charge of the port systems in Dominica. I mean, who is this person making decisions for the ports of Dominica? I'm going to tell you,
He
man.
may be in charge, but
I'm-
I think his strings have been
Man,
pulled.
there's only one way to fix the Dominica, and I know the caller wanted a recommendation of what we should do. There's only one way to fix the port system in Dominica. It's to privatize it. Simply give it to somebody else to run and to run as a business, because right now it's being run as a chop shop. It's not being run effectively. If you give it to somebody who can run it, who's going to be able to sit down and say, no, this profits us, this doesn't profit us, we need to do this, and put a proper schedule together. Matt, do you know what it takes for a ship to arrive here and then another ship is on it? That's almost like a plane flying to Dominica
No logistics.
and didn't know that we don't have an airstrip. I mean, who does this? Why don't you call the ship and say, hey, ship, here's the thing, you got to turn back or pass Dominica Strait? Because no, you know what we do? The ship shows up and it says, oh, ship. No, well, it's not really ship, but it says, oh, ship, there's somebody sitting in my spot. What should we do? I mean,
There's no coordination. No.
you mean
no.
nobody has AIS on the boats? Nobody can see the boats coming down. I mean, we have AIS on an app that we can see where every boat is. We can see the name of the boat, who it's registered to, and we can see that on our cell phones. How does a boat end up in Dominica and didn't know that it wouldn't have a space to land?
Let's take a phone call. Are you there? Yes?
Yes, Matt, good afternoon to you and to Mr. Jolly
Good afternoon to you, sir.
and listeners at home and abroad. You know, all of these things because we don't have standard operating
Procedures.
programs in place, procedures in place. So everybody doing their own thing. It's like, you just run a country. Well, to me here in Dominica, we just exist until death do us part. We don't, you go to the country, you talk about, well, I went to school to do this, to become that, and so forth. And in those days, it's just not part of the thing. I was speaking to somebody yesterday, and he was telling me, have you noticed when you see an ad now and some of those things, it's more or less for gas station attendees. Then you see things for security. Like before, you see a thing for an engineer there, an accountant over there, or this and that there. It's hardly the case those days in Dominica. And the caller called a while ago and talked about washing money. It is true. That's why we are so busy building hotels. And we do no promotion to say we're going to bring in more tourists, more people here. And we are building hotels and so forth. And hotels that are here existing, we penalize them, pass them straight. We take an attitude of I don't like it for one reason or the other, and therefore you will perish. While at the same time, I give incentives so other people to go and build hotels and all of that kind of thing. So the caller is right. It's a washing money operation. Now, I went to a business place yesterday. I won't call it business place name. And I know that business place to be a thriving business thing in Dominica. And when I go there, the shelves almost asking for why I'm so empty. You walk around there, all around that, and you see people start bringing curtains and bringing stuff for Christmas. The place is virtually empty. And those business people, I don't know why they are so inactive, why they are not talking. I remember they spoke under Patrick John. I was a boy. Then I grew up to be a man. They spoke under O.J. Seraphim. They spoke under Eugenia Charles. They spoke under Edison James. They spoke under Rosie Douglas. They spoke under Pierre Charles. So all of a sudden, the private sector, to me, I don't know what happened to their voices, what happened to their interests, and so forth. And you go and you see their businesses really going down the drain, and they say nothing. I say, well, They're happy with what is happening and so forth. So we're really in a sorry state here. Mr. Jolly, I will commend you highly for at least doing your utmost to
making
help us
making
to
an
understand.
effort. Making an effort.
Yeah,
Yes.
make an effort to help us to understand that a country has to be run collectively and seriously by all of us, the citizens of the country. And when we have this thing, as it's a one-sided thing, at the end of the day, what you get is confusion and division and a stagnant country. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, I mean we really have to get the answer.
We gotta get some answers. But I mean, Christmas and the holidays are coming, man. And here's the thing. If we go ahead and systematically, right now, it's October, a lot of the companies are ordering all the items that they're gonna need for Christmas right now. They're bringing all the stuff in. And if we keep having these delays, man, I'm gonna tell you, prices are gonna go back up in Dominica again. I mean, I hate to tell it to
Up
people.
again?
Matt, they have to. Look at what's going on. I mean, we are actually creating increases for ourselves. The system, I mean, Matt, do you know how much fuel it takes to run a boat like Tropical or King Ocean back up to Miami full of containers that it should not have on it? Those containers have to come to us 4 times. They left Miami, came to Dominica, went back up to Miami, and then they're coming back down to Dominica. That is
Taking VEP.
well, but Matt, it costs money to take VEP. And guess who has to pay the money? It has to be us as the citizens that are gonna pay the money. So I'm gonna tell you, and not only that, I feel I sympathize with a lot of the grocery shops out there, because guess what? The yogurt that was on the boat, Matt, yogurt is short date already. We're gonna run out of yogurt because guess what? By the time the yogurt reach here, it's gonna be expired anyway. They're gonna have to throw it out.
On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yes, looking for solutions. Are you there on the telephone? Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
In a democratic country, you would know exactly what the prime minister signed with the Chinese. When the president leaves the United States and goes anywhere and he signs any agreement, when he comes back, he has to report to the Congress and the Senate. The only thing they may not tell you if it has something to do with national security. Otherwise, he has to tell the people exactly what he signed. He couldn't tell the people it's not their damn business. But you're living in a communist country, a guy who's close with the Chinese, anti-Israel, anti-America, anti-this, and pro-Chinese. So what do you expect? Time will tell. Have a good afternoon.
All right, so we're going to take a break and we'll come back, Dominica, at 1:54. Every time Andy is on the telephone, on the radio, our telephones go crazy. Stick around.
The Diabetes Association is taking over. November. It's No Sugar November. Book the dates. November 1st, Domda will hold a press conference. November 6th, a panel discussion. November 9th and 10th, Domda's members will be attending church services. On the 12th, nutrition talks will be held at schools. On November 14th, a major press conference and fundus photography screening for diabetic retinopathy. November 15th, the Dominica Diabetes Association will host sidewalk health screenings outside of All Saints University. On the 16th, a diabetes health clinic and cardio jam will be held at Portsmouth with Jolly's Pharmacy. On November 17th, an awareness walk in partnership with The High will be held, and a cardio jam dubbed Dancing in the Streets will begin from 4 p.m. On November 20th, a major panel discussion will be held, and to top it all off, on November 27th, look out for published diabetic stories. The Dominica Diabetes Association is doing it big. No Sugar November. For more information and registration, call us at 767-316-7326. This ad is sponsored by the Dominica Diabetes Association and this station.
You wanna buy drinks at affordable prices? Check GBA. You want some shop for all your parties? Check GBA. We got rum at the bottle and drinks by the game. At GBA, we can make you live with a smile on the face. At GBA, when you shop at GBA, located at 102 160 Independence Street, Roseau. Come back in the ambience of exotic rums and wines from all over the world. We have a wide range of bounty rum, Grand Fraser, Diplomatico, and so much more. Feel like drinking something fancy? No problem. We got a wide range of wines and the cocktails just for you. So come visit us today at 160 Independence Street, Roseau, where you will come sad and you will live happy. Let us be your agent for something. GBA, let's take it one step at a time, because we are the drinking ambassadors of Dominica. Drinks at affordable prices, check GBA. The one-stop shop for all your parties, check GBA. Come shop at GBA.
And someone just asked a question as it relates to communism. Do you think we're going down that way?
Are you asking me if our prime minister is a commie? Is that a direct question? Is our prime minister a commie?
Is that indirect question?
It's an indirect question. Well, to some extent, I will tell you, he has a lot of tendencies that communists have. So,
well, he said he's twinned with China. So,
and he's very comfortable around Chinese and the China whole group. So, China is a communistic country, as you know. So, I will tell you, possibly yes. Not only that, I believe that the characteristics for communism are displayed in a few different ways. Number one, you're looking at you subscribe to this one party rule, where one party rules all the time. The communistic party there's no opposition. Number two, they usually reject private property and capitalism to some extent, which is kind of what we're seeing. We're not seeing it in a direct way, but it's almost like our capitalism is going down. We have the government competing with the private sector. So you have almost that going on. You also have state economic control. So the state tries to control the economic activity of the masses as well, which is something I think that we're seeing happening in Dominica. You have restrictions on freedom of religion, and then you have suppression of the opposition. And I don't think we have the restriction of the religion as much yet. But I will tell you,
say yet.
Yes. well, because it does show up in certain places. For example, we have a prime minister. He only goes to certain churches. So therefore, which means that God only resides in those churches that he goes to, right? I mean, I'm guessing. So you do have if he went everywhere, then we could say, hey, this is somebody who believes. But he also doesn't subscribe to the free world as well. He doesn't subscribe to the free world
said
enterprise.
One time in Parliament, Dominica is to free.
Yes, but he also said free me up or something like that too. So he uses the word free very freely. Does that make sense? So yes, our prime minister does have a lot of communistic tendencies. That's a yes.
All right, let's take another phone call. Are you there, caller?
Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you.
Matt, does the pot have... Good afternoon, Mr. Jolly.
Good afternoon.
Dominica need 100 men like Mr. Jolly, and things would take a different turn. I'm Matt. Matt, does the pot have a manager?
Yes, I know.
So what is... Yes, I know, Mr. Bino, but so what is the role and responsibility of the port manager? Because, Matt, for what I know, the port knows in advance which vessels are coming in, what time they're scheduled to come in, and what have you. So you have that cement boat from China, which has plenty cement to offload. And then you have boats like Tropical Shipping and the other company, Ocean Edge or whatever it is.
Oceans.
Comes in one
Ocean,
and only spends a few hours at the port. But I know about Tropical Shipping. I was working right by the port. When you come into work at 8 o'clock and you meet Tropical Shipping there, by 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, Tropical Shipping gone. They put down all their containers. And So how is it that the port manager cannot arrange with the Chinese for that boats, seeing the port cannot accommodate the cement boats and these other cargo boats?
Let me ask you a question. I want you to be honest with me. So, do you think that Mr. Battle is in charge? If it happens more regularly than you think, do you think that Mr. Battle is really in charge?
But he's supposed to be in charge. He is the port manager. The manager of the port supposed to take care of business on the port in the real world, Matt. Unless if he's a mannequin port manager, man. So if any dress he had strength to fire for crop back to give back to Lennox then. That's all the strength he had, Matt. So you cannot tell me you cannot arrange for the Chinese boat to move off from the port and allow Tropical to come in and offload their containers and go their merry way. Then the Chinese boat will continue offloading cement. I mean, not with not much cargo boats coming in, no. We used to have more cargo boats coming in. And you're telling me, okay, where's the Minister of Trade? Don't we have a Minister of Trade?
We do.
Doesn't that fall under trade, the commerce, business? The biggest cabinet with so many ministries. And you have a problem like that going on how long? And nobody cannot solve that simple problem, man. What kind of place we live in now? What kind of people that say they are managers and leaders in this place? No, boy, man. Better put women in charge of everything in Dominica.
I agree. Women have more balls.
Yeah, man. No, man. That's nonsense, man.
All right,
You know, Matt, she makes a good point. But I'm gonna tell her, you see the problem is, Matt, if we take the Chinese boat and we tell the Chinese boat to go with the cement, and I don't know if it's a Chinese boat necessarily, but our cement boat, because we don't know really if it's Chinese that are on the boat or running it. If we send the boat go, we might not get the airport because the boat will say, I can't trust those people. They don't want to offload the cement. So we have to choose between the cement. Hypothetically, we can't let the cement boat go because we need the airport, supposedly. I don't know why. But anyway, we can't if we let that cement boat ever untie on that dock and it's not empty, I think there'll be problems to deal with that. There would be people crying.
Andrew, let me talk to another problem that surfaced this afternoon there. I'm just learning, I still have to confirm, but I'm just learning that effective the 1st of January 2025,
or electricity rates going up
driving
again?
licenses are going up by 15%.
Now that's not shocking.
15%.
That's not shocking.
Instead of 80, we're paying 125.
But Matt, this year, I'm going to tell you something. I want to come back on your show next week, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a list of all the things that increased for you this year. We're talking about things that were one price when we started. We had the Wasco significantly increased the water bill, and they didn't increase our water bill, Matt. You notice what they did? I don't know if you noticed the technique they used.
$15.
They added a tax because whether you use water or not, you're gonna pay that, and that's called a tax. And it was $15 if you're residential.
No, commercial is more.
If you could go up to commercial people, and they're all the way up to what, 800, 900 or something like
800.
And not only that, Matt, they don't even remember how they classified businesses as large and small, because I actually had a small business that have a toilet and a hand washing station, and the business is now being taxed at $800. And I'm thinking, we were using $15 of water a month, our bill went up to $815 overnight.
You're joking.
But Matt, that's how it is. The class, it was small, medium, and large businesses. It had nothing to do with revenue. It just had to do with the fact that you were considered as one of those businesses. Had nothing to do with that. So that's considered as a tax. Our electricity bill went up this year, right? That just went up. It's not the same like it used to be, right? Now, our driver's license goes up.
125.
Guess what that is again? That's another tax.
15%.
I do not doubt or foresee that our vehicle licenses may go up eventually too. So I don't doubt that could happen too. But I am going to tell you, the prices are going up, Matt. You know why?
So what's happening to our roads? Why are we paying all of this? And our roads in that condition.
Well, we're hoping to fix the roads. Remember, we're getting cement for the roads, Matt. So somebody has to pay for this. I mean, I don't know if we're getting cement, but I mean, I talked to them about getting cement today. Let's see if we get some over the weekend because, Matt, remember when we used to have, Community Day of Service. You ever remember that day?
I remember that.
We used to get bags of cement, sand, and we would go out there and fix our own roads, and we'd get together. Or somebody would bring water,
Cool
juice.
man.
That's right, Matt. You know the deal because you're old school. Does that ever happen again still?
Not really.
Anybody getting any list for cement, sand, free cement, sand? I think that then we used to have Public Works. Does Public Works still exist?
They do, but they're not being paid.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, next question.
Let's take another phone call. Hello, talk to me. You're having some problems getting their salaries.
Good afternoon, Dominica. Good afternoon, St. Joseph.
Good afternoon,
Mr. Andy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Not bad at all.
If you're from Central, you're my people. So,
all right.
Jolly Central. Non, mon ka pale pa toi ou sav. Si mon ka pale kwa yo. So, mon se ja Senjo ou sav. Senjo mon sorti.
I will just jolly all the way. I know your family. Come on, I have deep respect for that family.
Okay.
And you know what is bad about it? In a press conference, Kerry say Israel bombing Hezbollah, Israel bombing Hamas, and because of that, the cost of living, rise. But if you are a prime minister that care about the people, and knowing that they have that problem where that war taking place, the cost of food going up, you should do everything in your power, in your country, to see that you control and you have that thing done back, not because of the government, for the cost of living to go up. You telling me a ship coming out, going to Dominica to put stuff in Dominica and you have it going back? Scared care damn about Dominicans. And what is sad about it, sir? You want election reform for you to have people, professionals, in place to do things professionally done. And that man decides, jamais. He cutting his neck. He's paying all kind of money to have crooks and criminals in different positions to hold on the people so that they don't have that independence to vote, to vote for people that can make life easier for them. This guy is a wicked guy, man. God bless Dominica. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. Somebody says we can talk until the cow jumps over the moon. Until this administration is replaced and you have good governance and law and order in place, nothing will happen. And I repeat, Matt, nothing. And remember that Ross University was not removed from Dominica by accident. This was a strategic move, huh? 449-3095-96 and 97. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. I know everybody's trying to get in. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Attention homeowners, contractors, tradesmen, and all. Here's great news from Eaststar Trading Limited. Just received a wide range of German premium quality power tools, vacuum cleaners, cement mixers, power wash machines, and more. And grass cutters at only $595. Visit our showroom upstairs of the supermarket in the bayfront for world-class Ronix power tools, swipers, power car wash, spray guns, and many more items, all at 220 volts to 50 hertz, and all at affordable prices. Eaststar Trading Limited, making a difference for you.
You wanna buy drinks at affordable prices? Check GBA. You want some shop for all your parties? Check GBA. We got rum at the bottle and drinks by the gate. At GBA, we can make you live with a smile on the face. At GBA, when you shop at GBA, located at 106C Independence Street, Toronto. Come back in the ambience of exotic rums and wines from all over the world. We have a wide range of bounty rum, Grand Fraser, Diplomatico, and so much more. Feel like drinking something fancy? No problem. We got a wide range of wines and the local cocktails just for you. So come visit us today at 106C Independence Street, Roseau, where you will come sad and you will live happy. Let us be your agent for something. GBA, let's take it one step at a time, because we are the drinking ambassadors of Dominica. Drinks at affordable prices, check GBA. The one-stop shop for all your parties, check GBA. Come shop at GBA. Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season and insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
All right, Dominica, we're here. We're back. And you know the telephones are going like crazy. Are you there, caller? Yes?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to your mom.
And it's not only the people that is suffering, animals suffering too much for the past 2 weeks.
Animals? Animals
yes.
suffering?
Yes, it didn't have any feed on the island. 2 weeks it didn't have chicken feed, And not every time it haven't got feed. The production of the eggs go down. The farmer losing, the chicken suffering. Every time the cement boat is there, no boat can dock and they have to go back. When you ask the dealers when, okay, the Friday we will get. Friday come, no feed. When you call again, they say Tuesday, no feed. When you go, Friday. 2 weeks for the past 2 weeks, they didn't have any feed on the island. And it's because of the cement boat. Bye-bye.
I mean, she's making a very serious point. I mean,
that's very
animals
serious.
are also suffering.
Well, Matt, the thing about it is that we only were thinking about ourselves suffering. We didn't consider all the ramifications. But there's several different angles or rabbit holes that you could run down with that. And I have to say, Matt, I would hope that we have 21. Is it 21
constituents?
Well, how many representatives do we have? How many people do we have representing Dominica currently in this government administration?
I can't give you a figure.
Officials.
Off my head.
Off your head, you can't. There's a lot. I would hope one of them are listening. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm hoping that at least one or two out of the, how many ever, at least 20, right? Are listening to say, hey, you know what, guys, we have a problem here.
Let's do something.
Let's do something about it. Let's call a meeting. Instead of us having a meeting, don't they have a meeting coming up somewhere? Doing something with delegates and everything. Instead of having the delegate meeting, let's get together and see how we can solve this problem. We don't need another delegate meeting. What we need is to solve the people's problem. We have some real world problems here. And I think these people are just blatantly ignoring these problems. And I have never seen this before. This is the first time in my life that I have seen people see problems and just literally walk past them. And it's almost like, remember Fredo said, make us, they walk in with their eyes closed?
Yeah.
It's almost like our government officials are walking with their eyes closed. They're not seeing it. It's totally beyond them. So I don't know. They're not seeing the holes in the road. They're not seeing the poor sidewalks that we have. They're not seeing the fact that we have high grocery prices. They're not seeing the people that are underpaid. Government workers are underpaid. A lot of the people in private sector are being underpaid. They're not seeing that. And then they're just walking around with their eyes closed because they themselves are living on a different cloud. They on cloud 9, we on cloud 4.
So they're very comfortable.
They're not just look down. Oh, the cloud's down there, it's good. They don't know what's going on this cloud. Nobody's saying.
They're not in touch with reality.
They're not Dominican reality. They might be in touch with some reality, alternative reality, because these days you can make your own reality, You have a lot of AI out there and computers. You can create but the real world stuff, Matt, the reason I came down to you here today, I was walking around Roseau. I could not get around Roseau with my vehicle. I literally gave my vehicle to somebody and said, look, you need to drive this. I cannot get where I'm going. I'm walking instead. I have never had to do this in a very long time. The traffic was horrible. The parking was horrible. There's a lot of people in Roseau, obviously, because, we have I don't know if you got a chance, Matt, to watch the match in the park.
I gave up on that a long time ago.
Yeah, that's partially communistic too. You know that. The only communist countries go out and march with the police officers with their guns and stuff and show off their military might. There's very few, countries that are not third world countries that still do that. Anyway, I don't know why we do it still. But anyway, let's get some other traction because we closed down a few selected roads in Roseau, Matt, and everything else is tied up. People from Faucolet to Roseau takes me more time than it takes to go from Roseau to Creamy Portsmouth. It takes me 45 minutes to get from Roseau to Portsmouth.
Still bright and creamy?
It's bright and creamy down there. It takes 45 minutes to get there. From Faucolet to Roseau, you want to get to Faucolet to Roseau, it takes you 45 minutes. This is a big lapse. We should have had alternative routes in place. We should have had more active traffic police. We should have had more directions. Maybe we need to create a few more one-way roads or something, but we're tied up. When we're just sitting here, just saying, hey, and you know what that's doing again, Matt, right? Which obviously I don't think the government's going to fix because they're getting a big reward for it. We're using up more gas.
Because y'all keep driving.
We're sitting in there, and not only that, you have to have air conditioner in the vehicle.
With that condition,
and there we are, we're talking that we're climate resistant. We can't be climate resistant when we're putting more carbon dioxide into the air than anybody. Or carbon monoxide, I think is what we have out of a vehicle.
Carbon monoxide.
Monoxide. Sorry, I said dioxide. But guess what?
I understand.
We're putting more out in the air because we just have our vehicles idling. In most countries, Matt, it is illegal to leave your vehicle idling for very long, simply because it's just sitting there, just pumping out gas all day long. So here it is that we're using more gas, and we have gas now rated at what, $17, $18 a gallon?
And our economy is bad. No, it's down to 13.
It's down. Is it back down to 13?
I think it's
Matt, gas is not at $13 a gallon.
I think so. The last I heard.
Somebody better call us in and give us a fact check on this.
I'm going to do a fact check.
Do a fact check. We do not have $13 gas in Dominica.
I think it went down. I think it went down. I may be wrong.
Maybe I'm buying you lunch on this one. Okay, but Matt, we're using more of it because we're just sitting. These cars are just sitting there. Matt, the opening of tourist season came up just a couple weeks ago. I mean, we've had our first and second boat in there. Matt, you know what I did? The first morning I looked out my window and I saw a tourist boat. I hit my head against the wall. I said, not again. Matt, every time tourist season comes up, don't get me wrong, I love the bus drivers out there. I think it's good that they come down, they get those tourists, it brings in dollars into the country. Matt, but what it does to the rest of us? It delays our school children. It reduces our effectiveness of our businesses. Everybody's late for work because guess what? I cannot even do a good work schedule for anybody that says you start at 8 o'clock, because if they start at 8 o'clock, they have to leave home at 7 o'clock. And there it is, this horrible traffic. You can't get around. You can't get any parking in Roseau. Everybody's just fighting to try to get by. Welcome 2024 tourist season. Yeah, we're back again. And
the bus drivers are happy.
Everybody else is hitting their heads against the walls. This is what we're doing. If they don't kill us with the cement boat, they'll kill us with the tourist boat. But we're going to die by boat. That's the key.
Let's take on a phone call. I'm still trying to fact check this gas business. Hello, on the telephone. Are you there? Caller.
But I don't like calling twice, but I don't have the price of gas. Right? I
No,
don't price of
listen,
$30.
that's 1305.
1305.
You see, fact check.
Oh, okay.
Fact check. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
Well,
and
yeah.
you owe me lunch on
I
that
owe
one.
you lunch on that one. Well, it came
But
down
just
from
to support,
$17 a gallon.
Matt, just to support Andy on the point you made.
Uh-huh.
You hear me?
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Walking with your eyes closed.
Well, it
You
went
know,
up
I
by
had a
23
friend.
cents. It went up by 23 cents. It went up by 23 cents. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Caller, go ahead.
Yes,
I think Matt's
yes.
still working on a fact check thing. I don't believe the price.
I'm just saying it went up from the 305
Yes.
or 1305. It went up by 23 cents.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well,
So check it out. Nothing significant. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, Matt, to support what Andy made. If what Andy made about walking about with the ice cream, not seeing anything. You know, I had a friend who came in for, to enjoy independence
Right.
and the Creole stuff, and said, from everywhere they comes in, from the airport into Roseau, they pass through bells and this place, and you see these drums on the side of the road and so forth. They said, at least since Maria or even Erica, these drums are there. And ministers go to the airport, they pass there too, and that is there for so long. But even I remember before we saw what we call Gabion baskets, so you build a basket and you fill up the stones and make a wall until you are able to put the concrete. And so not even that little common sense that they have to be able to even do to facilitate. You have to stop at some point for somebody else to pass. And sometimes you see when you reach the drums area, some people come in and they speed up there. And if you're careful, you can find yourself in the precipice there.
Mm-hmm.
So they really walk in with their eyes closed, and the unfortunate thing, they have no brains to open their eyes.
Unfortunately. Andy, another fact check. Okay. I've just gotten the final gas price. Today it went up 1405.
it seems like every 10 minutes it's going up.
It's 1405.
You know, Matt, the caller has an interesting thing. We have a lot of bins by the side of the road, and all these bins are all red bins, right? Which is probably not significant of party or thing, because if it was up to me, I would have put some white bins there too or something. But red is fine. People can see red is danger. It says red is actually equivalent to danger in most. It says danger or stop.
Yeah.
But Matt, if you drive under the cliff, there's a very unique sign, and every time I drive by it, I never understand. It says, "Watch for falling rocks." And I'm driving on the cliff and I start to look up and I'm thinking, do I look up for the falling rocks or am I looking? Because if you look up for falling rocks, even though you see the rock falling, what do you do? Do you stop your car? Do you speed up? Are you not? I don't know. It's confusing. But that is an interesting sign. But you know what they do in most of the French countries, right?
They put the Gabion baskets.
They put the baskets or the nets.
They call them Gabion baskets.
There, they put the nets up there and they hold the rocks up. So even though those rocks fall down, they stay in the net. They don't fall on your car. But we have nice signs that say "watch for falling rocks," and that doesn't scare anybody, including visitors, by the way.
So I just want to confirm again. I want to confirm. The last prices were $13.82. I know there's something like that. So it's now.
Is that the wholesale price or the retail price?
I think it's wholesale.
But wholesale is different than retail.
No, but now you pay $14.05 for
$14.05 a gallon. Okay.
For gallon.
There you go.
Hello, talk to me. So yes, the price has gone up a little bit there by the gas prices, 23 cents. Are you there? Yes.
Yeah, man. Happy belated birthday.
My brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. You're going to take me for shrimp when I come to America?
Yeah, I got a nice pasta dish for you. Don't worry. I got you. Mr. Jolie, how you doing?
Doing good, thanks.
Yeah, Mr. Jolie, you made a point. I want you to explain it to me just a little more. You said when the airport is open, who's going to come to Dominica? I know it's not only Dominicans that come to Dominica. So what do you mean by that?
Well, I wasn't saying that who's going to come to Dominica. I was saying that here it is that we're inhibiting so much other factors in Dominica. We're hurting so many other industries. We're putting so much cost on our back. And we're rushing to build this airport. I'm not saying that who's going to come, but I'm just saying, what's the rush? Who's rushing to come in? anybody who wants to come in today could probably jump on a American Airlines flight, or you have the new Sunrise airline, which is kind of cool. And then you also have Liat 2024, because you had Liat 2020, Liat 1960,
I also heard they're
74.
going to start opening the Kenfield Airport. There's some
Yeah.
discussion
But
about
I mean, what I'm saying is that we have access right now. But here it is that you're putting immense suffering on the backs of the people. That is considered as wicked and cruel and unnecessary in some way. And I don't know. You're from overseas, so you'll understand that terminology.
He's not from overseas.
Well, he's not from. He lives overseas, so he'll understand. There's a.
And comes home to vote.
There we go. Well, there's a football term called unnecessary roughness. It doesn't mean that you couldn't play rough. It's just that it was unnecessary. You didn't need that roughness. So therefore you get a flag for that, or you get a penalty. So we really don't need to be stopping commerce. We really don't need to turn back boats, and we really don't need to put the Dominican people through any excess suffering to get this airport, because it's not like we don't have one right now, or we're in dire need that we have to have it beyond all means. So what's the analogy here?
What's the rush? Hello, on the telephone. Are you there? Al, you still there? Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going away now, Matt. I'm there. Give me some time. I like to engage with Mr. Jolly. Give me some time. Mr. Jolly, we should build an airport 50 years. Not right now. No time soon. Maybe about 50 years from now. Mr. Jolly, did you oppose the UWP building that airport too? Are you too back in the days with the airport? Or are you opposed to it? And one more thing.
I mean, hold on. I want to stop you here. He never said that he was against the airport. He said earlier on that yes, you can build it, but is it necessary? Is it a priority for us now? That's the question. That's what he said.
That airport is going to bring in business and it's going to bring in traffic to the country. You know,
of course, everybody wants the airport.
I want the airport. In fact, the truth is that between the two of us, I probably fly more than you. I'm so close to having my private airline or my private plane. I want this airport because the plane that I want cannot land on the one in Melville Hall. I'm going to tell you, I'm just that sort of guy. But here's what I also want to tell you. We also have to be conscious about everything else around us. It's almost like we're taking care of our everything else, but we're not taking care of our health. You have to take care of the body as a whole, and you have to take care of the country as a whole. So I'm not opposed to the airport, because the airport was actually promised since Freedom Party, since Dame Eugenia Child, all the way by Patrick John, I think, all the way back when. And so many people have proposed this airport. But here's what I'm saying. We're going for an immense amount of struggle here to get this.
Is it a priority?
Yeah, we're sweating bullets here, buddy. I mean, we are just killing. I mean, just the other day we had a truck driver rally because guess what? They couldn't get they wouldn't hire their trucks, and I think the problem with the airport too is, hey guys, let's make sure this is a very long project, and the cement is only the first part of the project. Matt, imagine going for this for the next 7 years or 10 years, because it takes 7 to 10 years to build a good airport. If you do it quicker than that, you're rushing it. I'm just letting you know.
Are you still here?
Yes, Mr. Andy, I know you could give me shorter answers, but that's okay. That's how you go. But let me ask you a quick question. Would you open a business in a recession?
Would you open a business in a recession? That's his next question.
Well, you can open any business at any time. It just depends on what the business does. So if you tell me would I open a hot dog stand in a recession? Yeah, more people eat hot dogs. They won't go out to meals and have $100 and $200 meals. They're gonna eat hot dogs. Hot dogs are $5 hot. I would open a hot dogs in a recession. So the answer to your question is yes, sir. Short answer.
Yes. Are you still there?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Mr. Andy, last question.
Yeah. I'm going to start charging $1 a question, sir. I'm going to tell you. I'll give you my bank account when you're done with this, okay?
It's independent. Mr. Andy, would you oppose the way you guys oppose the airport if it was an American company that was building the airport?
He didn't tell you. He never said he opposed it.
I am more for the airport. My brother, I am for the airport. You don't understand. Last program, I don't know if you listened to it a couple of days ago, I said I wish I could wave a wand and give us the airport. It's just that we need to understand that if things need to be done, they have to be done in a certain way. You cannot injure and interrupt people from their normal business to create your business. I wouldn't step on your back. Is his name Al?
Al.
Al, I wouldn't.
Albinois.
I'm not going to step on your back to get ahead, sir, or step on your shoulder. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk and hold your hand and make sure you're comfortable and I'm comfortable. I'm not going to walk on your forehead and say, I don't care where he is, but I'm on top now. This is not the way to conduct business. This is the way an arrogant animal conducts business. You step on your brother's back. And this is why black people have been commonly known as crabs in a barrel, because we step on each other to move ahead. And that is the scenario I think you're looking for.
Are you there, Al? Are you still there? Sorry, I gave you the time, right? I hope you enjoy the answers that he gave you. Al, we out of here. Talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Yeah, but and you made a point there with respect to the cement and the length of time that we're going to be dealing with that, Matt. Because we need to realize, Matt, that the cement that they're carrying now, Matt, it's not cement that they were going to employ in the normal course of construction. That is emergency cement. That is cement.
Because the need for the groundbreaking, my friend?
Yeah. But remember they didn't do the EIA. So they have problems, Matt, with the soil. Remember that, Matt. So they didn't expect to have to be in that situation where they're mixing cement with soil. So that cement is not really even for the main construction yet. That is just to stabilize the soil, Matt, which they didn't expect to be doing. So apart from that batch that you have there right now that has to be moved, Matt, there's still more cement that has to be moved to pertain to the construction of the facility itself. So as Mr. Jolly is indicating, the possibility that we may be in that situation for a very long time is real, Matt, and we really need to consider that, in terms of the effect it is having on the business community. So that is why we appreciate more businessmen to come out and support the argument put forth by Mr. Jolly with respect to the impact that this airport is having on the business community. So people will not go with the idea that people don't want to.
I know a few people. I'm not an engineer, but some mix as it relates to clay and cement. Some people are suggesting may not be the best thing to go, or not the best way to go. But
maybe that's all we got at this point, Matt. Because here's the thing. Again, we're in reactive mode here. I'm gonna tell you, we don't plan.
We panic.
We're just reacting to whatever comes our way. I mean, we started digging, and all we have is clay. So what do we want to do? Okay, well, let's make this clay. With cement.
See it holds on.
Let's see. We're gonna give it a try. We don't know.
Are you the caller? Yes. Sorry about that. 44930. I need to ask an environmental engineer or construction engineer, what's the potential in terms of the clay mixing the cement? What are the results? I
don't know if we care that much. Just do what they have to do. Do it. Just the only problem, Matt, is the inconvenience that it creates for everybody else. We have what we have, Matt, is what Bob Marley spoke about a long time ago. We have people who think that they're superior, one man superior to the other. Man fights man. It's simply because we feel that one person is better than the other, or we feel that somebody is less than us, so therefore we can do them what they want. And the lady that called this morning, she was right. The port is supposed to have somebody who's in charge of the port. And I can tell you, Matt, that person who's been in charge of the port, if we have to sit down one day and do a post-mortem, we will know that that person has never run that port correctly. That port has lost money for tons of years. That port is the most inefficient port in the Caribbean today. If somebody wants to fact check that, they can check it. That we have the most ineffective port. which in turn says we have the most ineffective port management in the Caribbean. Anybody want to fact check that and get back to me? I'm here.
4493095. I told you 236. We are, of course, this is the talk of the block, and everybody is getting the responses that they need. You may not agree to agree all the time, but we can disagree too. Hello, talk to me on the telephone.
Yes, Pastor, good afternoon. Carlton balling down to the point in the morning. You have to come straight. What about Bob Marley say that yeah, his father and he has to don't accept that? Yeah, thanks.
But what is it? What is your explanation? Just come on. You came on the telephone. You make a point and you run off. We need to have an engagement with you. Hello, talk to me. Yes, 449-3095-96. I mean, Andy's quite capable of answering the question. So please, when you call, engage him a while. Don't just make a point and run. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Hey, Mr. Jolly, what's up, man, Mr. Jolly?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have to see that. I feel that you're already good. Mr. Jolly, you're one of the best folk businessman in the place that can really engage anybody. You understand? So, Mr. Jolly, I want to congratulate you for coming on the radio station and speaking the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Mr. Jolly.
He's here. Go ahead. He's
here. Mr. Jolly. I want you to take a little walk in Virgin Lane because I heard you asking for a few bags of cement to block hole. So I want to support you. So let me just call on Mr. Jolly if you can help me to get Melissa Skerrit Popon to give us at least 50 bags of cement. The same side of the road we speak for the children, we are going to fix the gutter. And I'm calling on the pastor, the same pastor that was controlling everything in Virgin Lane to do the sidewalk. I'm calling on him so we can have a little speech before coming to the city. Mr. Jolly, if you can get at least 2 more men like you to come on the radio station, I think everybody will join you and you can do a very good thing for Dominica. So in closing, Matt, if you can get Mr. Jolly every additional Tuesday on your show, to speak about what's happening in Dominica.
He has promised to join me every week until he leaves the country. So you have him for some time. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes?
Hey, good afternoon, Martin, Mr. Jolly.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, let me ask the question. Maybe Mr. Jolly, maybe he may have an idea. Matt, I was considering the call. Those boats that come in Dominica, the port manager, I don't know if anybody asked him the question or anybody asked the government the question. There is a docking fee that's supposed to pay to the government, to the port. I know that fee is very high, Matt, because here in Statia, there's a small barge that comes from St. Martin. I'm not talking about the big one, the small one that was before the COVID, and they charge by tons, okay? And that boat, every day it comes, it may come twice a day, it would have to pay $800 to dock. It's by the ton. Sometimes we feel it because we bring stuff from St. Martin, St. Croix on that boat. So based on the fee, the boat put the charge on us, on our paper, so we feel it, but there's a lot of money that comes in. So my question is, that boat that is docking with all the cement, it is just for days, I suppose. We are losing money. The pier is losing money because when this other ship comes in, they cannot pay that fee. They have to turn back. Now, that money, I want to ask, maybe Mr. Barwell, who is responsible to collect that money? And is a record given in Parliament concerning those fees? Because in St. Martin, the biggest money that comes in St. Martin is from the airport and the dock and the road tax. Because I believe when I was in St. Martin one time, that was years ago, Matt, the road tax covered the budget one time in St. Martin. Because, one person has so many rentals. These are a lot of money coming. So my question is, where is that money that goes for the port? How are we knowing that this money goes to the treasury? How do we know that money goes to the treasury? A report that gives us all those money coming in? I'm listening.
All right, I'm sure there is I mean, there's some place that the money goes. The port is the manager.
Well,
I think
what we should do, we should invite Mr. Badwill on the show. I mean, I hate to talk about people when they're not around.
Would you come in and have a discussion?
I'd come in for any Matt. I'd come in here for you just to have lunch with you. I mean, I probably owe you lunch, but I think Matt, it's very interesting that you have a talk show here, and here we are listening, talking to callers and stuff like that. And you got to reach out to some of these people and say, Mr. Badwill, your name is being called here. You should show up and defend yourself, but nobody ever shows up to defend themselves.
All right, let's listen to this and this voice note at this time, yes?
Mr. Peltier, good afternoon to you, sir. Good afternoon to Mr. Jordy.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Peltier, the problem we are having right now at the Deepwater Harbor in Fokole is clearly a problem with bad management and bad governance. Several years ago, I sent you a voice note saying that after 45 years or so of independence, no government has seen it fit to increase the docking capacity of the Deepwater Harbor. Someone sent you a text saying, well, the Freedom Party did some work on the Deepwater Harbor. But in actuality, what the Freedom Party did was increase the land area of the Deepwater Harbor, not the docking capacity of the Deepwater Harbor. And so whenever there's a large ship in port, only one ship can dock. And herein lies the problem. We need to increase the docking capacity of the harbor to where it was originally planned to go, and that is all the way up to public works. That was the idea of Mr. John when the Deepwater Harbor was built, but unfortunately he did not last long enough to see the port increase to the size that he really wanted it to be. But we have a government who has been in power for more than half of our period of independence, and they have handled the most money in the history of Dominica, and yet they have not seen it fit to increase the docking capacity of the Deepwater Harbor. And so we are going to have that problem years to come. We will be having that problem until someone decides that our port is a major concern and address that concern. Until then, we will just be talking and complaining like we are doing now. It is simple as that.
All right, so he says also for the airport to be on schedule as promised, the whole country will be inconvenienced. Deal with it. And you said, Andy, earlier that we might have to deal with that problem for many years.
Well, we will because you can just look it up. You can Google it. Most airports, I think the minimum amount an airport has taken in the Caribbean is 7 years. So if we're groundbreaking on November 9th, Matt, what's our start date of the airport? If we're groundbreaking on November 9th, when we're like at minus 10 and counting down to get to zero. So we're gonna be in here for a while. But I support the idea of these expansions. I support the idea of all those things that we need. But I want to let the last caller know that don't worry, caller, we're not gonna get a larger Woodridge Bay. What we're going to get is a longer airport in Marigot and another airport in Wesley. That's what we're working on now, and don't distract us. We're busy. We're doing the Lord's work, and we're going to get 2 airports. Forget about Woodridge Bay. We don't need anything for boats. We don't need a cruise ship terminal. We don't need the marina.
Again?
The marina.
I thought they spoke about the marina.
I know, but we're not concentrating on that. We're not moving earth on that one. We're not. We don't have the cruise ship village. We don't have another cruise ship port. What else did we? We don't have anything for fisheries. We were supposed to get something where the fishermen could sell their fish and bring it in. Or fix those up. We have some in Marigot. That fishery terminal in Marigot, man. I don't know. They got to look at that. Who's the power up for Marigot, man? We got to get that person on board.
And there's so many things to look about.
I know there's a lot, isn't there?
Hello,
Mark.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, good day to you and your guest.
Yes.
I heard this fella, Al Benoit fella, talking. My brother, these people should be ashamed of themselves and ready to go and hide on the rocks. Because
the very Roosevelt-Kerry administration took a whole generation telling Dominicans Dominica doesn't need an international airport, refused to continue the airport that another administration started, bring Ralph Gonzalez to Dominica to tell Dominicans they don't need an international airport. And today, this Albano and other Labour Party supporters trying to play like people don't want to support an airport that is going on. But they held Dominica back 50 years back by going around preaching that they don't need an international airport and avoided Dominica from having that long time ago. You understand what I'm saying? And the other question is, who does that airport really belongs to? Because it is impossible for you to say you're building something for a people with their money and you're treating them like shit at the same time. It doesn't make any sense.
All right, caller. Thank you. Thank you. 246. Let me just
Matt, you have to remember that they told us we don't need an international airport and you don't need a fridge that makes ice. Just use a butter container and put the ice in. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember like
who needs a fridge that makes ice?
I can go back in the archives. I received a very important voice note from the archives this morning. I might just play it for you in a minute. I'm listening to Andy. Andy's so right. Badrul thinks without him the port cannot operate, but he also thinks he's indispensable. But tanto, you heard that expression already, yeah?
Yes.
I know he's not 60 years old. He must go, and go he will. This is a message from the diaspora.
You know the best run bay, or I should say port in the Caribbean is in Antigua.
And this port manager is from Dominica.
It's from Dominica. The guy who runs the best port in the Caribbean is in Antigua, but he's from Dominica.
And for years he's been given the top awards.
I know.
So we have the capability.
I
we
don't
have the
know.
ability.
Is that what we have? We have the capability, but we don't have it. I mean, it's.
We have the ability. You're right.
Oh my God!
I heard this from a long time ago.
This thing makes our head hurt.
Let me say good afternoon to Mr. Darwin Telemat there in Antigua.
I need my colleagues in the Far East and Europe to know be the wholesale resale of hundreds of thousands of Dominican passports in the year 2010. I need for all and sundry to know.
I want you to listen again to that.
I need my colleagues in the Far East and Europe to know that there will not be the wholesale resale of hundreds of thousands of Dominican passports in the year 2010.
That was our Prime Minister saying that you will not be selling our passports wholesale. So what's really going on there, Andy? You see, changing his mind, huh?
but we talked about that last time. This, I don't seem to think that there's a current thought here. And as I told you, Matt, last time, I think this Prime Minister has been the most manipulative person or Prime Minister in the Caribbean. I understand that politicians are supposed to probably lie a little bit, but this is totally ridiculous. This is taking it to a whole new atmosphere, and not only that, Matt, if you lie and you get caught lying, you say sorry or something, there's no sorry or anything. There's no repercussions. There's no apologies. I mean, our Prime Minister is unapologetically there, and he's just like blah, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. On the telephone 449, my telephones are going crazy. Somebody said, man, I was about to do some brush cutting. When I heard you said Andy Jolly is gonna be, I just forgot that I'm on the radio now. Good afternoon to you, Michael. Hello, talk to me. Yes, hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, good afternoon to you, sir.
Yes. I'm calling because I a lot of diaspora, overseas calling, it always baffles me, like, how are you a diaspora and you're a liberal, and one question I'll just ask them, why did you flee? Why did you flee Dominica? If everything so nice, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, just a question, asking the diaspora, why did you go? On the telephone? Yes.
You know
the reason why.
Because not everything is bright and creamy in Dominica. But, I'll tell you what, though, Matt, a lot of people have gotten better opportunities out of Dominica.
True.
And they've not forgotten their home However, I will tell you that there are quite a few people out there who might be considered, they call them the laborites now, or they call them scaritors. Is that what they call them? They call them something. But there's a lot of people who are delusional and think that things are going on that they're not. But I think the aim has been of Mr. Scarrett is really, as I said, to fool the people. The aim has really been to deceive the people,
And you think that they believe it.
it is it people. Some people are gonna believe it, man. Some people have soft mentalities. Some people, you could show them something right in front of them. I mean, you could show them red lipstick, and they
might say it's blue.
They're gonna tell you it's blue. I mean, there are people like that out there. So
I've said that before. And even the Prime Minister comes out now and looks up in the sky, he said, "Boy, that sky looking red." You know, a lot of people will believe him.
There's many people that could. I'm going to tell you that because he has a way of with words. He understands. I mean, this gentleman can give speeches, and then you would be like, okay, we're gonna get this. I mean, look at the speeches that we've gotten over time. Look at this one that you just played. We are not gonna sell passports wholesale. Okay. But apparently we're still selling them wholesale and retail, and we're passing them somewhere. Look at the last time that he went up and he said, look, I'm going to be getting out of politics in April 2025. And everybody cheered. And then he went up on stage and says, look, we have a Roseau improvement project. And you know what we did? The biggest deceitful thing that I have ever seen this government do, and I'm going to blame the entire government on this one, is to put up those signs all over Dominica that have signs of how the airport's going to look, how the there's one for the housing development of Warner.
There's one for the marina.
There's one for the marina as well. There's all these big signs around that saying, hey, look at how great this. And Matt, where are they? I mean, we have pictures. It's like almost treating the Dominican people as children. Here you go. Here's some toys to play with. I'm not giving you a real car. I'm going to give you a toy car. You play with the toy car still.
Let's take a few phone calls there. I'm laughing all after. Are you there, caller?
Yes, Matt, I am there a very long time.
All right, go ahead.
Matt, I'm calling so long to give my thoughts about airport and management and port. And Mr. Jollies and you, Mr. Matt, you take my thoughts. But I was just calling to tell Dominicans if they want to know about management, just contact Mr. Telemakin and see that the government of Antigua.
All right. We'll call. He's my friend. I'll call him. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Hey, good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon, Mr. Jolly.
Good afternoon to you.
I was just calling to give Al his answer.
Okay.
Ask Al, who come in Dominica and go and Portsmouth, they invite to tell us that we don't need an international airport. And as soon as he go back to his country, he needs international airport. Ask Al, even the time when they say we didn't deserve an international, but it was necessary. Who had said that if it's UWP, when UWP decided to build it. Ask Al, bring that up for me.
I'm sure Al is listening. He never misses a program, I can tell you that. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. He's at work, but he's locked in. Good afternoon to you, Al.
But Matt, this is a pre-recorded program. How comes I'm on the phone now? How comes I'm on the air?
How you doing?
Doc, blessings to you, Honorable Doc. Blessings. Matt,
good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's going on?
Cool, Doc. Doc, years ago, it was not caught, but it was cornered. A big fat rat. And you know how it escaped, Doc? It said, no rat trap. Not even the clock or any time-telling device can prevent me from doing what I want in Dominica. Go to hell! Not you know about that. Years ago, I was telling all you, there will be, now I'm telling all you, there is 3 Chinese officials. One is the president. The president's name is Seche Puchu. The prime minister name is Chen Chu Bien. All that is Chinese name, you know, Matt. And the chief of police name is Fan Chu Moon. Matt, I was coming to town. And these are not jokes, you know. Okay. All right. I was coming to town. After you pass Taro, you coming up town, Matt. You know that big hill there, Matt. We call it Mount Rabat. Matt, it's not the flatbed looking truck that are carrying the cement. It is the deep box truck of the Chinese, and it is long as well. So, Matt, I am seeing one is going up so slowly, not realizing it was towed by the other same type of truck. And the one at the back is loaded with aggregates, Matt, or aggregate. And Matt, can you imagine the Chinese could not get a mechanic to bring on site where that truck got the problem? Loaded with aggregate, Matt, at the back, and a truck in front, towing it up that hill. Matt, a place they call Bottleneck Maho, and another one they call Bottleneck Massac. Can you imagine these two and in close proximity to each other, Matt? And already one truck blocking Maho, one truck blocking Massac. And you have the Chinese, Matt, doing what they want in Dominica. They have tased the people, they have kicked people. It hasn't got nothing the Chinese is doing. Now the Chinese are building a so-called airport on a lake, and they have to mix soil with cement. I have never heard that science prior to Dominica madness. So I am just saying, I want to give thanks to Doc, because a pity you don't know Doc and Matt. All those people that are selling passports, they themselves waiting for scholarship to go and study, No matter how much millions they make, they want their children, their grandchildren, and even they themselves to get a scholarship to go and study. So nobody's not sticking the neck out, because that terrorists have terrorized the people of Dominica for so long. Now everybody seems to be afraid and on edge and looking over the shoulders. They can only whisper, but they can't talk. They can voice out their feelings. But you know what, I'm glad, Matt, in closing, Matt, some people get in the courage. We have some labor rights. They're bull-faced. More than the big rat I tell you about that get cornered, and it's a no rat trap. Not even the clock or the time. Evolution does not exist for that rat. It will not age. It will not die. That rat is an eternal rat. So they're more bull-faced than him. And the young people, boy, these guys are creating monsters which will devour all of us collectively. The worst person you can find, Matt, is an ambitious, educated, talented, and frustrated young person. Watch out, Dominica. Blessings.
Blessings. Somebody's suggesting that what we need in the airport is a geotechnical engineer, to look at the soil samples based on samples that were taken there at the airport. You also need to look at the cost to date for the airport and whether it's on schedule on the cost. We'll do a little research on that one. 2:59 is the wall. We're going to take a final call and we'll allow Mr. Andy Jolly to wrap up. He'll be back after the holidays, I'm sure. We have a long holiday. And
yeah, we got a long holiday.
Long holiday.
It's going to be beautiful. I don't know if anybody has activities scheduled, but, I think everybody's going to go out there, and I think they have the presidential gala coming up
on Sunday.
Some people are going to.
There's a party. I hope everybody's invited.
I hope all Dominicans should come and enjoy. Because
have you been invited, Andy?
I usually don't go. I'm usually a little bit more laid back, and I've gone once or twice before. It's not my thing. I'm gonna tell you. My thing is more laid back, being on the beach, being by the water. I enjoy the water. I'm fortunate enough.
With friends.
Yeah, socialize with friends. I'm fortunate enough to not have to go to those things and not have to get dressed up in fancy shoes and fancy shirt. But I want everybody to have fun, be safe out there. But we do have some issues to talk about when I get back, so I'll be back.
I'm sure you will be back. And Dominica, I just want you to enjoy your independence. I'll be back with you on the radio, the usual Saturday stuff. But again, Andy, I just want to thank you, and we'll tell you what day next week.
It's always a pleasure. Give me a call if I'm walking by. Matt, I am hoping, and this is my prayer for us, that we run out of things to talk about.
I always tell you.
Maybe this weekend they fix everything and nothing will be done.
Dominica is pregnant with issues. I don't know when they'll be delivered.
Don't tell me that, man. You know, we gotta get things moving, Matt. Let's hope we get it sooner rather than later.
We need to find solutions.
Yeah, if we can get all the solutions done by Wednesday, I'll be happy.
Folks, it's a pleasure always. See you around. Let's see if I can squeeze in one call, one call there. Yes, to wrap up the program. Are you there, caller? Quickly.
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Tell Mr. Jolly I want him for my pallet.
All right. Oh, what community you calling from?
The one that have the biggest jolly.
All right. We'll talk. Andy looking for a pal rep. Dominica, we're going to turn around and engage with Flo Dominica for the hour.
Kyrie FM.
Arrêtez calculer moi, arrêtez musculer moi, arrêtez tout mentir moi, pas passer pour ça aussi moi, j'ai cassé puis là, et pour pourri là, j'ai cassé puis là, et pour pourri là, arrêtez manipuler moi, arrêtez siroter sur moi, arrêtez tout mentir moi, pas passer pour ça aussi moi, j'ai cassé puis là. Mwen ka ou ka di la, chaka se pri la, mwen ka ou ka di la.
Squat la, vite la, cheval la, monte la, machin l'auto la. Ce soit sur bois la, poisson la mer la, l'auto sportif la.
Arrêtez calculer moi, arrêtez whiskiller moi, arrêtez tout mentir moi, pas passer pour ça aussi moi, chaka se pri la, arrêtez pour pourri la, chaka se pri la, arrêtez pour pourri la, arrêtez manipuler moi, arrêtez siroter si moi, arrêtez tout mentir moi, pas passer pour ça aussi moi, chaka se pri la. Mwen ka ou ka di la, chaka se pri la, mwen ka ou ka di la.
Squat la, vite la, cheval la, monte la, machin l'auto la.
Sois un bois, la poisson, la mer, la l'auto.
Attends. Chamisé, nous chamisé. En fait, nous venons pour amuser, tout chien encore analysé, en chat réalisé. C'est pas chemin au peut dévaliser. Pour qu'on évite, nous chat pénalisé. Manqué certes, en sortie inégalisé. Ni un travail à bas, et en cas concrétisé. C'est si moi, prochain mois, on va focaliser, on faut mettre un erreur pour un chien. Et en cas verbalisé, au yo.
La bite, la chouba, la monde, la machin, l'auto, là. Sois un bois, la poisson, la mer, la l'auto sportive, là. Où j'habite, la bite, la chouba, la monde, la l'auto sportive, là. Sois un bois, la poisson, la mer, la machin, l'auto, là. Où j'habite, la bite, la chouba, la monde, la machin, l'auto, là. Sois un bois, la poisson, la mer, la l'auto sportive, là. Où j'habite, est-ce qu'on peut donner?
No vini pou ba ou misik, no vini pou jwe tambou, no vini pou fè ou danse, No vini pour amuser ou. No vini pour jouer musique. No vini rouler tambour. No vini pour faire danser. No vini pour amuser ou. No vini pour bao musique. No vini pour jouer tambour. No vini pour faire danser. No vini pour amuser. No vini pour jouer musique. No vini rouler tambour. No vini pour faire danser. No vini pour amuser.